Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the previous part of our lecture, we learned that PERT has provided a lot of good information. It has given us the time to complete the project. It has given us what activities are critical, what are non-critical activities. A complete schedule has been given for each activity. The earliest start, earliest finish, latest start, latest finish of all activities were provided. But was also able to tell that what is the probability of completing the project by certain date, etc. Now, PERT cost is an extension of PERT, what we have learned from earlier. PERT cost is used for monitoring and controlling the projects, and we will learn how to do that. The first thing is the making the budget for each activity, because when we want to control and see the whether we are on time or not on time or behind schedule, or we want to see whether the cost spent is within the budget limit or we are overspending, we should know that what is the cost of each activity. So the first thing is that we want to know what is the project manager will estimate the cost of each activity, and from there adding all the activities we can know what is the total budget of the project. There are 4 steps which can be used for budgeting the activities, and then of course we can then monitor and control. So first, the 4 steps of the budgeting process: identify all costs associated with each of the activities, then add these costs together to get one estimated cost or budget for each activity. In larger projects, activities can be combined into larger work packages. So a work package is simply a logical collection of activities, and a work package can itself be considered as a project. So it is possible to and then work packages are combined to complete the project as well. Convert the budgeted cost per activity into a cost per time period. So we have estimated the cost for each activity, and then we should make it that how this cost will be spent per time period. Assuming that the cost, we can assume that the cost of completing any activity is spent at a uniform rate over time. Now, for example, if activity is taking, let's say, 10 weeks and costing us $1,000, then we can say that if we assume that uniform expenditure is made, then we can say that $100 has to be spent per week. This is just an assumption, but if we have, for example, if we know that how much labor hours will be spent in each week, then we can estimate according to the number of labor hours spent in each week and budget according to that. Or there may be some other method we can see that how the money will be spent each week. But for simplicity's sake, we can assume here that the money is going to be spent at a uniform rate over time. Now, using the earlier start and later start times, earlier start and later start time, we can find out how much money should be spent during each week or month to finish the project by the date desired. For monitoring and controlling the project, we will be using Gantt chart. And instead of a bar chart in the Gantt chart, remember that it is basically a bar chart. So instead of putting the bar, we can put the cost there. Here are the two tables. Okay, this is the Gantt chart for the example we have seen of foundry example earlier. This is the Gantt chart. And now, first of all, let's look at the budget of each activity. We have the table here which shows the earliest start and later starts of these activities and the expected completion time of the activities. And then in the next column we have total budgeted cost for each activity, and if we add all that, this is the total budget, which is $308,000. Now we are saying that we assume that the uniform expenditure is there per unit of time. So budgeted cost per week is then 11,000, because 22,000 is the total budget for that activity A. All right, and the total expected completion time is 2 weeks. Then budgeted cost per week is 11,000 per week. And similarly we can find out for the others as well. Okay, just assuming that uniform expenditure is there, uniform rate of expenditure is there. Now we have seen the Gantt chart earlier of this example. So instead of putting a bar chart here, the bar is this one, this is a bar. Okay, instead of putting bars here, we are just putting the how much the money will be spent each week. So 11,000, 11,000. So 3 zeros are just missing here. It is in thousands. Activity A, first week 11,000, second week 11,000, total 22,000. Activity B, it will start from first week and second week and third week, 3 weeks activity, and so 10, 10, 10, and the total is 30 weeks. And similarly activity C will start when activity A is finished, so it is coming here. Okay, after the activity A is finished, then activity C starts, and it is the uniform rate is 13,000 per week for 2 weeks. This is the total budget for that activity. And activity D is starting after activity B is finished, and it is a 4 weeks activity. Total budget is 48,000, and 12,000 per week is the expenditure, and so on. Now this is according to the earliest start time. We can also make, according to the earliest start, we can also make a similar Gantt chart for, or similar table for later start times. You can see over here the last 2 rows. Total per week is just simply for each week, it is summation is there, 21, 21, 23, etc. And the last row is telling us cumulative. So 21 first week, then 21 plus 21 plus 21 is 42, 42 plus 23 is 65, and 65 plus 25 is 90, etc. And this is cumulative. So the cumulative is 308,000, and this is also if we add column wise as well, it is 308,000. Now I would like to point your attention to 6 week. Let's say in 6 week the total expenditure or the estimate and the budget expenditure should be 162,000. All right. So I would like to see I would like that you concentrate on this 6 week. Suppose we are going to suppose that we are at the 6 week. We have finished the 6 week, and then we will see how we can monitor and control. Now this is according to the latest starts. Earlier it was earlier start, and this is according to the latest start. We can make the bar chart again, and this is bar chart, or we are putting just in the bar chart, we are putting the costs here, 11,000, 11,000, etc. As you can see now, activity B has a slack, so it can be shifted 1 week, and that is according to the latest start. So this is not starting at 0 time, but it is starting at after first week, 10, 10, 10, etc. Again, concentrate on week 6. If we start with latest starts, the money spent should be around 130,000. Okay. All right, this is just showing it in a graphic way, that if we plot it according to the earlier start, you can see this is x-axis is weeks, and the y-axis is the budget, total budgeted cost. Then if we start with the earlier start times, this is the first, the line over here is the earliest according to the earliest start times, and this is according to the latest start times. Again, look at week 6 here. So we have about this was I think 130,000 here, and this is about I think 162,000 here. Okay. So this means that within this range we should have spent the money. Now let's see how we see whether we are on schedule or behind schedule. Let's say this is a snapshot at week 6. 3 activities are already completed, 100% completion is there. A, B, C, the 3 weeks, activities are completed, and the value of work completed is according to the budget, 100%. The other 3 activities, D, E, and F, are completed partially. Activity D is completed 10%. This is 10%, this is 20%, and this is 20%. So the value of work completed is just according to the percentage. The total budgeted cost is 48,000 and 10% completed, so value of work completed is 4,800. And similarly the other one, 56,000 multiplied by 0.2 is 11,200, and 30,000 multiplied by 0.2 is 6,000. Activity G and H has not started yet. Remember that we are in week 6. We have finished the week 6 and we want to see how we are doing. Now the value of work completed, if we just add that, it is $100,000. Now this is the value of work completed according to the budgeted cost. However, the actual cost may be different. The actual cost, let's say, is for activity expenditure is A is 20,000 instead of 22,000. Activity B has costed more, 36,000. Activity C has costed the same. Activity D is we have already spent $6,000 on that, and activity E we have already spent 20,000, and activity F we have spent 4,000. So if we add up all, it is 112,000. The last column is giving us the activity difference, which is basically actual cost minus the value of work completed. So if we have, this is the activity difference coming, minus 2,000, 6,000, etc. If we add, this is the difference coming, which is overrun. Overrun means that we have spent. We actually the value of work completed is 100,000. That's according to our budget, but we have spent $12,000. So one thing we know from here is this, that we have overspent. Another thing we want to know whether we are on schedule or behind schedule. Now remember that it is week 6, and when the week 6 is completed, the value of work completed is, we said, that is between 130,000 to $162,000. If you refer back to the earlier tables, I can show you back again. This was 130,000 if we start with latest start times, and this was 162,000 if we go for the earlier start. All right, so we can see from here that actual the value of work completed is only 100,000, whereas it should be in between. The value of work completed should be in between this two range of this budget expenditure, and this means that we are also behind schedule. Behind schedule and overrunning, overspent. That's how you monitor and control. Now you know that you are running behind schedule, and also you are overspending. Maybe you have to find out from where you can cut the costs so that you stay within the budget. Also, if really the things are getting out of control, perhaps you will have to ask the finance manager to arrange more finances for you. And of course, if you are running behind schedule, then you have to see how you can catch up and be on schedule. So that is monitoring and controlling the project.